in the background. Wonder who's going to come on the live stream.
Yeah. There's nobody
really
will
crazy.
recognize me.
There's a lot of people here, huh?
Yeah. I heard they sold twice as much tickets before the show than they did last year.
That's crazy. I don't know. There's twice as many people, and maybe more people bought the pre-bought, but
Yeah. Until like an hour ago, it was really packed.
yeah.
I haven't even taken a look around because all the booths were like
Oh, there's wall-to-wall people everywhere.
closed. Yeah.
So they're starting to come.
Cool.
See, we got 3 in here now. So they'll catch what's going on in the booth. They're looking at Chris over there from LAX and Paul. Paul, whenever we have the live stream on, likes to look like he's busy.
Yeah,
So he
right.
starts moving things around, standing around like he's busy.
Just randomly looking at products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Checking where the free drinks are.
All right, let's get into this now. Looks like we got some questions here already. This is good. Oh, by the way, we're on YouTube and on Facebook simultaneously
How does that work?
because I have a streaming service. So streaming
Cool.
service, you basically go to that stream and then they put it out to all the different. It's really cool.
That is interesting. So that's live on YouTube as well?
Yeah.
Or is it just recording
No,
and then?
live. And it'll be recorded afterwards.
I didn't know that they do live at all.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Hey guys, Terence here again, Neptune Systems. We're at Reefapalooza at the Let's Talk Reef sofa. Once again, doing live streams from Reefapalooza. Hope you guys are joining us from all around the world. It's a great event so far. Our booths have been packed. I mean, we haven't really had a chance to take a breather for most of the day, but now I do have a chance. So I went and rounded up a good friend of mine from a company I think you guys probably, many of you know. It's Alex Groff from Germany with ABYZZ.
yeah.
So welcome,
everybody.
Alex, to the sofa.
Thanks for having me.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very relaxing actually to sit for a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
It's been a busy show.
Yes, the whole day has been busy already. Yeah.
So how many days you been here from Germany?
I arrived yesterday, so
Wow.
like my first night now, almost settled in the time zone. I
So
hope by tonight I'll be on my A game.
we know
again.
tonight though, there's a little bit of that's going to be going on. Not that it's been in your history or anything.
No. I'm not known for that.
You've starred in some actual movies with that, like right, falling asleep at like.
Yeah, at the
Immaculate video.
last one standing at the hotel bar in New Orleans, I think that was.
Yeah. So Alex has done some crazy stuff. Well, Alex's company makes some amazing pumps. I have one on my aquarium. Some of you guys know I have a 425-gallon Reef aquarium, and I have like 18 feet of head pressure, like real feet, not just counting the pipes,
Yeah.
but just vertical, along with all the like 80 feet of pipe. And I use their ABYZZ or his ABYZZ A400 on it, and it's just amazing engineering. I wanted to get you here to talk about some of this because I don't think enough people in the hobby know. I know really high-end enthusiasts really know,
Yeah.
but I'm one of these people that believe that even people in the middle of the road could make use of your smaller pump a lot more than they do. Even though it costs more money, there's an argument to be made.
Yeah, absolutely, and that it's worth the money.
So tell me, how many pumps do you have in your series right now? And these are return pumps generally, right?
Right. Yeah. We have 2 flow pumps as well. So from the return pumps, we now have the A100, A200, A400, the one you've got.
Okay.
Then we presented it also this year, the A1200. So that's
So what do the
next
numbers
bigger
mean?
one.
Is there something to the numbers?
Absolutely. The numbers is the wattage. Like A100 is 100 watts.
Okay.
In the US, 1 amp draw. The 200 watts, 2 amp draw. 400, 4 amp draw. It's like pretty easy to get around that. And the A1200 is then 3 times as much power as the A400.
3 times as much as the one that I have?
Yes.
I can't even imagine that.
That's it's doing 18,000 gallons per hour.
This has got to be mostly for like commercial use, right?
Mostly it is, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we have some private installs where that thing is already planned in.
Right.
There's some aquarium builders that build like the larger private stuff. So unfortunately, as always, that is under NDA and you never get to share any pictures of that stuff.
Yeah,
That
you
is,
can't
like,
get
really
into
cool.
it. And if you do get a home install, it's usually somebody who has a lot of money and they also want an NDA.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So you don't get to show some of your great work.
Yeah, so that's the A1200. So that's that'll be in the States on stock by the end of next week.
Okay. So one of the things that's really interesting for me on your pumps is how incredibly small they are for what they do.
Yeah.
People come to my house and they go, okay, how is how do you get the water, up to your house with that little tiny thing in the sump?
Yeah.
You got this little pump. I mean, it's no joke. It's that big, right? Right. And they look at it and go, are you kidding me? How does that do it? And so I've got the 400, but the one I think that more people should be using, and I don't know how well you sell them. I think you sell a lot, probably on the higher end stuff, more than the smaller end stuff.
Actually, it is, yes, because all the public aquariums are like the biggest customers right now, because they're exchanging 1 horsepower, 1.5 horsepower pumps with an A400, cutting down the power by 2/3 of, so that their return of investment is like within a year. So most people just they don't have a 1.5 horsepower pump.
Right.
But there are hobbyists who have a 3/4, 1 horsepower pump in the basement.
Yeah.
Like
because they need to push the water. Yeah, I would have to have something like that in order to get the pressure that I need to have.
Which would be noisy and
heat, noise, cost, all of those things. But the A100. And people might think it's a little funny because, of course, we sell the core pump, right? So like, oh my gosh, is there a competition here? Why would you be? But I do believe that there is still a separation in the market.
Yes, absolutely.
That's there. Our product is an incredible product at value. If you want to, if you want to drive, the Maserati, or you want to, I mean, quite frankly, our product is the Camry, right? Or it's the Honda Accord. It's going to get you around town. It's going to get you what you need. It's going to be affordable. It's going to be reliable. It's going to be all of those things. But you could move up, to the BMW or whatever it might be, the high-end car, and the A100.
Yeah. So that's we're not selling the biggest part of the A100, obviously, because there's many pumps in the market in that power, in that wattage. So that's basically the
well, it's a price. It's a price issue for a lot of people, and they can make that determination.
But it's also the only one that is running on 12 volts, which is
Really? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So there's a rule in swimming pools and in educational systems and toys that the only really safe voltage is just 12. So it's not to exceed 12 volts, and that's why that pump has a 12 volts. So
but your other ones are more.
Yeah, most of them have. Of our pumps.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the other ones are running on mains voltage.
Yeah.
So they, you shouldn't use them in your bathtub.
Right. So your larger pumps, is it A200 as well, uses the mains voltage? Yes, A200, 400, 1200. I'll use the have basically your own driver, right? We'll talk about your driver in a little bit, but the A100 uses a more conventional 12 volt kind of power supply. Right.
We have a very safe power supply in it that's from the medical branch, so that has a very high insulation voltage, and that way, we're basically just transforming to 12 volts.
Now that pump is just a little bit bigger than my fist, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this and like this, and it pushes how much water?
2,000 gallons.
2,000 gallons per hour.
Yeah, with maximum almost 20 feet of head pressure.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's smaller than those old school gray pumps that we all had in the hobby.
Right. But I think it's a great little pump, and for somebody who wants to have a smaller aquarium who can afford to make that kind of an investment, and it is an investment, and there are reasons for it. I mean, you use titanium on the inside and the parts and everything else.
It is a high material value that you're buying. Plus, it's been manufactured in the most ethical way.
What do you mean by ethical?
Being all manufactured in Germany with German standards.
You guys in Germany are the most ethical people in the world? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Not the most ethical people, but when it comes to the, whether you...
Sounds just like a German.
There's you have to treat your output water from your factory a lot more strict than you have to do that in other countries around the planet.
So what you're trying to do?
It's environmentally friendly.
Now I'm getting it. So
it's not
you're trying to make a comparison between manufacturing in the East and manufacturing in the West.
Yes, yeah.
That's basically what you're saying.
Which I don't want to do that in general. In
You don't want to disparage everybody.
Because because also in the East, there's some good companies that actually take a lot of effort to do.
But I know what you mean.
High quality.
Now I've understood better what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly. So that's where our product doesn't.
Okay, so you have those products. They all that my A400. I've had it now. I think like 3 years. By the way, I've never cleaned it.
I better take a note. I'll send that to the service department.
For the warranty, yeah.
Terence, no warranty.
I have never cleaned the pump.
But I haven't too.
No?
It's a secret.
Okay, because it's got like feather dusters growing off of it. It's terrible.
Yep.
Okay. Let's take a question because I love when I get questions in here. Okay. This Jasper Bradley here. So let's see something cool with the software. Watch this.
Okay.
Ba-boom. Jasper Bradley says, "I have a question. Are they rebuilt? Are they rebuildable? Can you rebuild them?"
I hope he's not meaning whether he can copy the product.
No. I think what he means is I think that people are so used to those 3/4 horsepower pumps where the bushings always go out and they're always having to fix them.
The seals and stuff.
Right.
Yes, they are, but you don't need to because there's nothing that needs to be rebuilt. The only parts that are due to wear is the bearings. The bearings is a user exchangeable part.
Okay. The ceramic?
They're ceramics, silicon carbide. They usually need to be replaced depending on the power that you're running the pump at between 6 to 8 years.
Okay.
And we're talking about a less than $30 product.
Right.
And then the bearings are not the big issue.
So is that not covered under my warranty, or it is?
No, the wear parts are not covered under warranty.
Understood. You have like a 10-year warranty, right?
Right. The 10-year warranty covers everything that breaks before it breaks by wear. So, for example, if you have a shaft that breaks, unless we see marks on it that you let it drop on the tile floor, but in general, if it breaks, which could happen on any ceramic, or the bearing breaks without being worn out, that's all covered under warranty.
Excellent.
And that's all serviced in the States as well. So CoreView's doing the servicing and our distribution. So,
well, that's pretty cool. I mean, Jasper, he says I have the Neptune 420 return pump on my tank. Love it. It's running 45%. So, little props to Neptune back here on this. But WW3 Reef says, love my A200. Almost bought a second, but waiting for the new controller on the pump. So let's talk about that. So what's new?
Well, this is the new controller.
So you're gonna hook it up to your 12-inch subs?
Yeah, right, exactly. We talked about that on Facebook.
Yeah, we had a little Facebook conversation about that. It looked like a Rockford Fosgate amp.
Yeah. So it's actually not a change to the existing controller, but it's another version or a new version of the formerly IPX controller. So we always had waterproof or splash-proof housing for more commercial applications and outside installations. So, and we weren't really happy with the design. Of course we were happy with it, we sold it, but there was room for improvement.
Right.
And
so let me ask you something, because I think most people are used to, with DC type pumps, right? Yeah. They're used to having a controller box and a power supply, a big power brick of some sort.
Yeah.
Again, that's not necessarily this. This is the whole power brick, controller, everything all in one, right?
Exactly. Because it's a high voltage pump. We have mains going in, and then basically the only.
What do you mean by high voltage pump?
Well, high voltage. I mean main supply, like
mains also, because what comes out of the DC side is high voltage too, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
It's both high voltage.
And this is not DC. Like everybody gets that wrong. So maybe we can clarify that now. Forever. So the only thing that is DC.
I don't know about forever. I think you're asking a little much here.
We'll try to share the video around the world. So DC pump only means that somewhere within the driver or within the little control boxes on all other DC pumps, you have a little DC circuit where your input voltage is rectified, and then you have your DC voltage storage.
Okay.
And from that DC voltage, you have to create a three-phase field for the motor to turn.
Correct.
Unless you want to have carbon brushes in the motor.
Yes, of course.
So,
but using the newer methodology, using three-phase,
right, exactly,
where you're getting them all in sync and then keeping them spinning them up in faster sync and faster.
Exactly, and that's just much more efficient.
Right.
I mean, that's also how your pumps work, so you know about that. So this is actually an AC output, but it's three-phase AC.
Right.
So in the pump is always AC.
Right, but what's the voltage coming out of that though?
full mains.
Yeah.
So, and on this one, I mean, for the US model, I have to say that it's more than the mains, because all our pumps are running on 300 volts, three-phase
Okay.
network. So, out of this 110 going in, 120, we produce 390 volts DC
That
voltage.
sounds scary. Should I be afraid?
No, I mean that's the standard German voltages. We're not
Okay.
afraid.
No, not the
So-
mains part. I am afraid of the
No,
220.
Yeah, I mean that's not a problem. So these are all built for all voltages.
Okay.
So these all have a wide range input, so you can plug them into anything between 90 and 240 volts.
Okay.
And even if you have a trapezoidal voltage from, like emergency power supply units
Yeah,
and stuff.
so this is
that
a problem
works.
I had once before. The only problem I had with my existing product is when I have a power outage and kicked on my generator. I had a generator that's got, I don't even know, it might be square wave. I don't even know if it's modified sine wave, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I kicked that on and plugged in, it's like everything went crazy.
Yeah.
And
You most likely get a low voltage alarm then.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that fixes this problem with the new driver.
Right. Exactly.
What happens if, again, safety-wise, again, with all that voltage coming out and it's going through that little wire in my tank, right? For right or wrong, when I think of my my core pump and that wire going out, if something were to shoot through that or whatever, I don't think it's going to hurt me that much. Is that going to hurt me if an urchin eats through that wire? And
Yes. Yes, it will hurt the urchin as well. So I think at
Okay.
some point he'll stop chewing. Sometimes.
so is there like a shut-off when that happens? That
Your GFCI will go crazy then.
so
it
it'll
will
go
just
right
switch
straight
off.
through into my mains,
Yes,
and
yeah.
my GFCI will trip. Good to
Right.
know.
So all the pumps, and that's obviously in the manual, and that's in the manual, by the way, with every, like if you buy a heater for an aquarium, it should be in the manual as well.
Yeah.
The heaters are all running on full mains, so
Oh, I know.
and there's enough stuff happening with those.
So any other features in this?
Oh
New
yeah,
stuff?
I mean we did put in new software, basically just improved all the functions that we had.
Okay.
The display now, you can switch the color from Apex Orange.
Mine's getting a little weird too on it. I think it's just age
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so now it's there's a new display in it. That's why we now have an RGB display, so
Oh,
you can
really?
actually choose your display
Colors.
color. So-
RGB colors. Okay, I
Yes.
thought you meant like a bicolor LCD or something.
Oh no! It's still an LCD matrix display,
Cool.
but now you can choose between orange and green and white and whatever you want,
Okay.
basically. But we also exchanged the display to one that is more resistant to heat, because that's the issue that
That's what
some
kills
people
them all
have.
the time. Yeah.
And if it doesn't even kill
Not
them right
environmental
on.
heat. It's heat from the box, right?
Right, it's the heat from the box. The thing is, most people forget to adjust their contrast voltage for the LCD, and then when the LCD heats up, the contrast voltage changes, and then you can't read it anymore to adjust the contrast voltage. So I highly recommend do that.
It's probably me. I'm thinking
Yeah.
something's wrong with it. It's me that's wrong with it. I'm sure.
No, but
You're
yeah,
gonna tell me now about that to read the manual? Is that what you're gonna tell me next? Yeah.
exactly. It should be in
Yeah.
the manual.
I'm a customer. Customers don't read manuals
I know,
usually, but
I know.
sorry.
I know that for myself. Yeah, always read the manual last when
So
something
what's
is
this
wrong.
panel right here for?
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about next. That's the new expansion slot. So
Okay.
on all the other drivers, we have those two D-sub 9-pole connectors, and
Right.
that's
Like a serial port, it looks like.
right. Yeah, and it is basically a serial connection, not a RS-232, but it's a serial connection.
Right. Data connection.
But it was a proprietary protocol that we came up with 15 years ago, and that worked great for that purpose. But now with all the other controllers on the market, it really makes sense to have something not proprietary anymore, or at least offer direct connection. I mean,
Right.
we built the connection with the 0 to 10 for the Apex interface, for example, for all the other brands out there.
Okay.
But the thing is, you had to buy like the adapter, the cable, and then
Right.
it was just still the.
I run that on mine still that way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it works. But for example, if the pump has an issue, you don't get the feedback. Like you will hear
Right, it's one way.
You will hear the driver beeping,
Right.
but not in your basement.
No, I will not.
So yeah, instead of just using a bigger buzzer in there, we
Right.
thought we might make the control digital. So in here is now an auxiliary port, and we can add different modules to it.
Ethernet?
Well, Ethernet we're gonna have because we wanted to use your IoT specification.
Wi-Fi or just Ethernet wired? What do you think?
Well, that's why this is plastic. So the idea is that we get out with an antenna, so we also can have Wi-Fi.
Nice.
I mean, right now we're going to do the 0 to 10, 4 to 20 milliamps industrial interfaces, where we also will have that APEX cable, but it will still be the 0
IOTA.
to 10.
The IOTA protocol.
That will be
what this means
in the
is
Ethernet.
that this thing will be on your network, right? So you'll
exactly.
attach this to your network like you would any other network attached device, and then you'll go
And
into
then
your
link it.
APEX and say connect to the the A400,
Yeah.
and now you'll be able to control the speed in your APEX wirelessly.
Plus, you get the feedback. Like, you guys at Apex can say, oh,
you
we
get
send
some
out
stuck in it.
your pump blocking alert or low voltage alert. You can use all of these
And now you can get on your
data
phone,
that is coming out.
Get an alert on your phone.
Right. You see the power consumption, the actual one, like not the maximum, but you know, if the pump's running at 30%,
see how
or if
many
you have a
watts.
wave motion running on, you see that actual power consumption. So that's a bigger
So are
change
these
to that.
available now when I buy an ABYZZ A400?
Well, you can get these drivers now from beginning at the end of this month. So they're shipping from Germany next Monday. So that's when we have the first IPU drivers in the States.
Okay.
And the interfacing will come along as it goes.
So I think I
Like-
need a warranty replacement. I hear mine calling me.
Okay. Oh, you mean the one that you have right now? Well, unless it's broken, I can't give you a new one.
Okay, well I can do something about that.
Yeah, we'll chat about that later.
But
then.
but what about if a person goes out? When are they going to be able to go out and just buy the A400 and it will have that one in it?
Well, they can buy the A400 like within 2 weeks, but you can't buy it with the interface. So the interface will
Not
come
this
later.
interface. I'm talking about this driver.
Oh, this driver you can buy by the end of this month. in the
In this
States.
month, all of the
Yeah.
ABYZZ pumps will have the new driver in them.
No, you can buy this, but this is the IPU driver, so we'll still have the old version.
Ah, sorry, I misunderstood completely.
So this
Rewind.
is not right. So
Okay.
this is an additional product that replaces only the IPX version,
Okay.
and it also combines 4 other products. So we used to have a different US driver and
Understood.
a different EU driver, and now this is all just one driver.
Okay.
So this driver is soon going to have the UL certification as well,
Okay.
because that's what we wanted to
That's
have in the
pretty
States.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we waited. I mean, we wanted to have that earlier, but then honestly, as soon as I knew that I'm going to make this new driver, I thought, well, we'll just wait for the new
How long have you been
driver.
working on UL? Because I know what that takes, man.
Well, we've been working on UL when we still were selling the old drivers
Sure.
a lot more than the new
Well, I know
ones.
the
so
whole back and forth
yeah.
and everything, and
it's very, very expensive as well.
it's super expensive.
But now that the market has been going up in the States as well, it's
And they
justifying
do
the
kooky
cost.
things too, like drop this huge rock from 4 feet onto the top of it and see if it still runs.
Yeah, I mean they do that, but you can hit
Yeah,
this
I know.
thing
You
with the
can-
rock,
yes,
and
that-
the
you can
display
put that,
may break.
You can put
but
that in like your bulletproof vest as like your
Yeah.
chest plate or something.
that will work, yeah. For anything up to 50 caliber.
So
yeah.
what else is coming? Anything else we should be talking about?
Well, we're
that
coming
people might
out
be
with
interested in?
Yeah, the next bigger one obviously has only this driver housing because it's a new design.
Okay.
So that's the driver this width, but this length.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
on the 1200.
Right. That will have the same controllability. And then we're coming out with the next bigger flow pump. So the AFC 1200.
Okay, so like a circulation wave pump, right?
Exactly,
Okay.
for large scale aquariums.
So right now you have one that's like a bazooka that I've seen
yeah.
in the show.
And now we have a bigger bazooka.
Bigger than that one?
Yes.
Get out of your mind.
Yeah, well, it's also the old one. Old. like
Hey
the-
guys, this thing, if you haven't seen it, it looks like if you were to play like Duke Nukem back in the day,
Yeah.
it looks like the BFG 2000 or what have you. It's what it looks like.
The name didn't come to my mind, but you're exactly right. BFG 2000. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. So now we have a BFG 8000
Okay.
basically. So that thing
So
is.
Scott Adams out here says that we are boring.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Scott Adams, did you get your Trident yet, Scott? Just kidding, I kid. But no other questions from them out.
Yeah.
So what else? So we got a bigger power head. Anything else
Yeah.
for the home hobbyist?
Not really.
No,
Not planned yet.
Nothing yet. No,
No.
skimmers,
We-
no
we-
skimmer pumps, no.
Well, I mean, we have our pumps available as skimmer pumps, and there's many manufacturers playing around with them.
Right.
Recently, another manufacturer from California stepped in and is trying out those pumps
Cool.
on his skimmers, which is great. So brings out the brand and shows
Okay.
that other manufacturers have interest in that and running their systems on our pumps.
We love
That's great.
running the ABYZZ stuff with the Apexes. I know a lot of customers that are doing it. People that we know through also through Kenji. A little name drop there. They love to run your pumps.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, great show, huh?
Absolutely.
We have another day of this. We still have another 2 hours of this here.
All right.
Got a couple of more people coming in. People like I don't know if they'll be today or tomorrow yet, but we've got Gareth from Real Reef. We're trying to get Laura from CJ. I got the guys from Flipper Magnets. Going to bring them over here, talk to them about their stuff that I love. Just all the different gear and stuff that we tend to love. So until that happens, guys, thanks for joining us here. Let's Talk Reef. We're here at the sofa with Alex from ABYZZ. And if you're in the area of LA, come down tomorrow. See us here. Talk to Alex. Talk to me. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Let's Talk Reef.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Cool.
Excellent.